Hi, today I'll be making a chocolate cake. Today I'm making 2 chocolate cake layers, which will be the first video in my series of videos, while I make a chocolate Snickers cake. So first I'm going to be making the cake layers on the back of this Hershey's box. It's that one. The Hershey's Perfectly Chocolate Cake. I've used it before and I really like it. It's very chocolatey. It's easy to make flat layers so I can like decorate and stack the cake so it doesn't fall apart, which is definitely one challenge when making a layer cake. But right now I'm gonna start by putting in 2 cups of sugar, granulated sugar. Unless it says powdered, it's just granulated. So this is my granulated sugar. And this is a half cup, so I'm going to do 4 of these. And I'm going to put it in this stand mixer. And I'm going to be using a whisk attachment because this cake is really liquidy. It's very liquid. If it was more of like a battery cake, I might use a cookie thing, which you might know that is not what it's actually called. But it's more like a spade thing with different things in it. Anyway, I'm using a whisk for this cake because it's very liquid. And that was 2 cups that I just counted out, 4 of these. And yeah, now I'm going to put in 1 3/4 cup of flour, all-purpose flour. Sometimes recipes will say like cake flour, and cake flour is useful, but I mean at some point you can't just get different flours for everything you want to make. So I just use all-purpose flour for basically everything. My family also has bread flour, which we use for bread and like pizza dough and whatever. But like for cake flour, if you really want cake flour, I forget the exact measurements. You look it up on Google, but it's like you have like 1 cup of flour, and then you pull out 2 tablespoons of that and put in like 2 tablespoons of cornmeal or something, and that helps it be more light and fluffy, which is what you want for cakes. I just put in 1 cup of flour, so I'm just gonna grab the next half. And it was 1 3/4 cups, so I have 1.5 cups of flour in right now. And I'm gonna grab a 4th cup measure. This is my 4th cup measure. I have a mismatch of measuring cups, so very different ones. Here's the 4th cup. I use a knife to flatten off the top, but like right now I'm using a fork because all my knives are dirty. Don't tell my mom that. But yeah, I just use a flat edge and top it smooth off. So that's 2 cups of sugar and 1 3/4 cup of flour, and I'm gonna mix it while I pull out the next dry stuff, which would be cocoa powder, baking powder, and baking soda. Also salt. Okay, so I just put in the baking soda and salt and most of the baking powder. This is the last half teaspoon of baking powder. It was 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder and 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda as well, and then just 1 teaspoon of salt. And then it's this Hershey's cocoa, or you can use a different brand, I guess, but this is the side that has the recipe on it. It's 3/4 cup, so this is 4th cup of that. And then a 1/2 cup of this. And that's all the dry stuff. So now I'm gonna mix this up while I get out the wet stuff, which is 2 eggs, 1 cup of milk, a 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and 1 cup of boiling water. This boiling water is important. Okay, so I'm gonna start with 1 cup of milk, and it's just 1 cup of milk. I'm gonna pour into this Pyrex dish. 1 cup. And I'm gonna pour it in while it's still mixing so that it can like not sit and make weird lumps. It can just mix in properly. And I'm using 2 eggs. Like I said, these are eggs that my chickens laid, so they're brown, you know. And also it's generally smaller than store eggs, so that's fine. Just crack it. Put it in there. Make sure you don't get any shells in. Shells are awkward to finding cakes. This is my first time actually cracking our homemade eggs with one hand. They hold together more than the store eggs do. So just watch out for that if you're gonna use home eggs. The next thing we have is a half cup of vegetable oil. I don't have that out yet, so I'm just gonna skip to the 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And I can't measure and pour it. And pour at the same time, so I'm just gonna soak this in. That's enough, I think. And now I'm going to get the vanilla extract out and throw the eggshells away. Okay, I got the oil out. It's a half cup of vegetable oil and I swirl it down the counter. Happens. And pour it in. And when you put it in liquid, you should make sure that it's not going to splosh out of the bowl because that happens. After it mixed for like half a minute, I'm gonna use a spatula to scrape it down so that I can make sure that all this wet dressing on the sides gets in. I'm gonna do that before I put in the boiling water, which is almost boiling. Okay, so it's boiling. We have like 30 seconds left, so I'm just gonna. Oh, it's not done now. Okay. Ay. It's hot. It's so hot. Okay. Grab a thing, and it's not boiling anymore, but it's okay because it's really hot still. And then I'm just gonna put it on a low setting so it's gonna splash. I'm just gonna kind of pour it in slowly, but like consistently. Okay, and it's in. And I'm just gonna let that mix around for a little bit, and it's gonna be incredibly liquid, like it's gonna be like water almost. And that's good, that's what it's supposed to be. And while it's mixing, I'm just gonna come over here and cut out the parchment paper to put in this thing because you need parchment paper. I mean, you can also use like flour and grease. I don't like using that a lot because I feel like I put too much flour in or not enough and it never comes out how it is. Besides, I'm making this cake for like a friend, so I don't want to like mess it up. I'm just gonna do what I'm most comfortable with. But what I do is I line it up as close as I can to the edge, and then I use a Sharpie to trace the mark around the parchment paper. And I do 2 circles because I need 2 cakes, 2 layers. And yeah, I'm gonna do that. Okay, so I've sprayed the pans, and they're sprayed. I use Pam, you know, if you wanted to do that. And now I'm just gonna put these circles of parchment paper in, like that and that. Just plan it out. And to do it, since I measured the circles on the outside of the pan, sometimes they're a little bit big, but this one's pretty good actually. Anyway, because I'm making absolute sure that I don't get the cake stuck in the pans, I spray it one more time, and now I'm ready to put cake in. This is the cake right now. Very pretty right there, but like, I only have forks now. Okay. I'll use this then. It's a big spoon. It's like liquid. Yep. Now I'm just gonna pour it into these pans, try to make it even. Sometimes it's not even, doesn't matter. You do your best, that's the best you can do. Okay, so they're about as even as I can get them. Now I'm gonna put it in the oven at 350 degrees for 30 minutes. Well, on the box it says 30 to 35 minutes. So I'm gonna set a 30-minute timer and check them then. And you're supposed to use like a wooden toothpick to stick it in. If it comes out clean, or like with crumbs on it, then it's done. And if it comes out wet, it's not done. I don't have wooden toothpicks. I use a fork. We also randomly in my family has like coffee stirrers, even though we don't drink coffee. So I use that second because like the inside there's straws, like it pulls out a small circle, but it's really small, and it gets the job done. So like whatever you need to do, I would recommend something small, so like not a lot of heat can escape, but whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna put them in right now, and I'll check in with you in 30 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 30 minutes, and those are the cakes. They're done. That's the hole right there from when I did it before. Tested it. Just have this one to make sure this one's also done. Came out clean. So I'm gonna pull these cakes out of the oven. Okay, so I'm gonna let these things cool off for like 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna cut down the edges with like a knife and put it onto a cooling rack and let them cool even more. Okay, this is the end of my cake video for today. They're wrapped in plastic right now. And I'm gonna put it in the fridge, and they're actually still kind of warm. So here's what you would do. These cakes can get kind of crumbly, so you freeze them for a little bit, so you can put on the frosting, and you could either just like decorate them when they're cool, and then like have a crumb coat. I feel like it's easier to do if they're frozen, because then like the crumbs aren't gonna come off, and I don't have space in my freezer for a crumb coat, so I just freeze the cake and then do it when it's all frozen. And then you let it warm up before you eat it, obviously. But that's what I'm gonna do for right now. I'm gonna put it in the freezer, and I wrap it in plastic so that it doesn't get weird, frozen weird. But yeah, this is cling wrap, and yep. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe.